8-2, so we can get started, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We'll start away. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namahum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, um, so beginning the blessings of Srila Gurudev and the previous acharyas, Srila Prabhupada. So let's continue to read Srila Prabhupada's one more wonderful chapter from the book Chant and Be Happy. So this is chapter 7. So I will present the screen. Probably we can see if we can do it in a different format today. So hope this is visible, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Visible.
Okay. So this chapter 7 is titled The Science of Mantra Meditation. So this book is actually a compilation of Srila Prabhupada's different works, conversations, and so on. And this chapter, especially chapter 7, there are about 15 different compilations from various different books of Srila Prabhupada is given. Very nice, wonderful things that we can meditate upon. So the 15 different things, we will just start looking into it and then, give our reflections on that. Okay. So if possible, because we have ideal, one just four, participants. So can we do a format of reading, or one each expert from the different, 15 items that we can read one by one in turns. Is that okay? If you're okay, then just you can raise your hand and you can start it. Okay, so I will read the first one. So these are excerpts from the writings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So the first one is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So reviving our original brilliance is the title. So here, okay, let's read this also. It's very nice. Here, Prabhupada writes in this purport, sparks are beautiful as long as they are in the fire, right? We have to remain in the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always engage in devotion service, for then we shall always be brilliant and illuminating. As soon as we fall from the service of the Lord, our brilliance and illumination will immediately be extinguished or at least stopped for some time. When we living entities are like sparks of the original fire, the Supreme Lord fall, um, if who are like sparks of the original fire, the Supreme Lord. So we, the living entities, okay, fall into a material condition. We must take the mantra from this Supreme Personality of Godhead as it is offered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, we shall be delivered from all difficulties of this material world. So here, one aspect of the living entities is given here. What is that aspect? So we are like the sparks of a big fire, right? So we are like a big fire is burning brilliantly, and the sparks are also having the same tendency to burn brilliantly. But there is a condition that as long as the sparks are remaining in the vicinity of the brilliant fire. So when it falls apart from the fire, then we know the spark is no more a spark, it will be like, into ashes. So similarly, we are also the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And if we maintain ourselves as the part of the Supreme Lord, parcel of the Supreme Lord, then we are also like the brilliant as the Supreme Lord in terms of the purity, equality, and so on. So that is what is Srila Prabhupada is talking about here. But our current position is like we have fallen apart, like the spark is separated from the fire. So what will happen? The spark will lose its splendor. But that is a material thing. If this spark cannot, be brought back to the fire, But we, the living entities, are eternal, sanatana, but we can be brought back to the original source. That's what is Prabhupada is talking about. Okay, so if we fall into the material condition, means forgetting Krishna, then there is a hope that we can regain our original beliefs. How is that possible? We take the mantra Hare Krishna Mara mantra. How? As prescribed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prescribes that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that is the process of delivering ourselves from the clutches of this material world, right? So we have practically also we have seen that so many when Srila Prabhupada has gone to Western countries where so many of the people who have fallen into the material condition of different sinful activities, right? So they became brilliant, means completely pure by chanting the taking of the process of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we have seen how Srila Prabhupada, is sitting in the Tompkins Square Park, just chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and people started joining. So all those people who joined were not, completely pure. So they were originally, they are called, hippies. They are drug addicts. All sorts of sinful activities they have been doing. But when they took up the chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then they got the spiritual power to purify themselves. So that is the process that is given in our scriptures as well. So whoever it may be, this process of chanting the holy names of the Lord, works so we can regain our original brilliance. So that's the first one. So the second one, the mantra for everyone. Um, so can any of you volunteer to read this one?
Okay, the mantra for everyone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare as a great means of propaganda for spreading love of God. It is not that it is recommended only for Kali Yuga. Actually, it is recommended for every age. There have always been many devotees who have chanted and reached perfection in all ages. That is the beauty of this Krishna consciousness movement. It is not simply for one age or for one country or for one class of people. Hare Krishna can be chanted by anyone in any social position, in any country, and in any age. For Krishna is the Supreme Lord of all people, in all social position, in all country, in all ages.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So this is another wonderful excerpt from Srila Prabhupada. So here, Srila Prabhupada is talking about the applicability of this mantra. Uh, it is everyone. So it is not, meant for a particular class of people. So it is not like that. It is applicable for everyone. But if we see, there are certain processes and that are certain mantras and things like that is not applicable for everyone. For example, the Vedic mantras, especially the Gayatri mantra and so on, it is not for everyone. You have to have a certain qualification before to chant that mantra. But this Hare Krishna mantra is not like that. So it is for everyone. Therefore, this mantra is called Maha Mantra. So it is the topmost, not only in terms of its the potency, it is topmost in terms of the applicability of this mantra also. So therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is recommending to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Uh, it's not only for Kali Yuga, not only for certain people, not only for certain age, but it is applicable for all ages, for all people. So that is why it is called Maha Mantra. And it is very simple and easy as well. Unlike the other mantras, which is sometimes is difficult also. For to perform the yoga process or to perform the yajnas and things like that, it is not possible for every age. Though the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is recommended for Kali Yuga, it does not mean that it is only for Kali Yuga. But if we see the process of Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga, that process is recommended for that, and it works. It is not recommended, or it is even prohibited for Kali Yuga, right? So in the beginning of, we have seen in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the beginning of Kali Yuga, in the Naimisaranya, the Saunaka rishis are doing yajnas for the benefit of people of Kali Yuga. And they have been trying to do those yajnas for many years. But what happened was they themselves are admitting that we have been trying to do for many years for the benefit, but the benefit what they are saying is, our bodies became black by the ashes that came out of that. That is the only benefit that we got. So they themselves are admitting that the process of all other processes, we don't see any validity, or we don't see any purpose of doing that. So therefore, they are thanking the Sutta Goswami when they met. Oh, by will of providence, we met you, and we are getting the proper solution for the benefit of Kali Yuga. Then Sutta Goswami starts speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying. Bhagavatam is all about glorifying the chanting of the names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the sum and substance of Srimad Bhagavatam as well. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada is talking about the applicability of this Mahamantra for everyone and for every age as well. So that is the second part of it. So the next one. So as we start reading along, so because it's a closed group as well, so please feel free to share your realizations, or we can also do a discussion kind of a thing as well. So thank you, Mahabhagat Prabhu, for joining. So you can also please uh, add a few points as well whenever.
No, Prabhu, I'm just here to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so the third one from this chapter, so somebody would like to volunteer to read. Thank you.
evoking our original consciousness. It is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, pure love for Sri Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, that love naturally awakens. Since Krishna consciousness is inherent in every living entity, everyone should be given a chance to hear about Sri Krishna simply by hearing and chanting Sravana Kirtanam. One's heart is directly purified and one's original Krishna consciousness is immediately awakened. Krishna consciousness is not artificially imposed upon the heart, it is already there. When one chants the holy name and supreme personality of Godhead, the heart is cleanless of all mundane contamination.
Thank you. So this is wonderful, another passage from the Nectar of Instruction. So here Srila Prabhupada is talking about, this is actually the science of, chanting. This chapter is titled The Science of the Chanting Hare Krishna. So here, how our original consciousness, is getting revived. Srila Prabhupada is talking about it. So the original nature of each and every living entity is actually pure. We have pure love for Sri Krishna, but it has been contaminated, or it has been covered by the material consciousness, or our tendency to laud our material nature, which is not our original nature, which is not our original consciousness. So just by hearing and chanting about the glories of the Supreme Lord and his devotees, what happens? Our natural love for the Supreme Lord and his devotees is awakened in our heart. And elsewhere, Srila Prabhupada also gives an example of the fire and iron rod. So fire burns brilliantly, but iron rod, as is iron rod, we know. But as soon as the iron rod is kept inside the fire, and it continues to stay inside the fire, the iron rod also gains the same nature as the fire and it acts like the fire. So it is similarly, we are like iron rod when we are away from our original consciousness or the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when we put ourselves in the service of the Supreme Lord, especially by hearing and chanting continuously, so what happens? We also regain our original consciousness. We also become like how the iron rod is becoming fire. So our consciousness also becomes pure. Okay. So, and Srila Prabhupada is very mercifully stating here that everyone should be given a chance, right? So somebody gave a chance for us, right? For me, to hear and chant, to read Srila Prabhupada's books, to read about Krishna, to read from Bhagavad Gita. So if we are given a chance, then, we are able to take it up, right? It is up to us. So here Prabhupada is talking about we need to give chance to hear about Krishna. So that is why book distribution is very important, and the ISKCON centers are very important, where everyone is given a chance. So when we go out and distribute books, it is just like Jagannath coming out of his Puri Jagannath temple and coming out to see hundreds and thousands of millions of people outside. So similarly, by doing book distribution, it is like taking Jagannath, taking Krishna outside, and trying to distribute him, even if one is not coming to Krishna. But again, the centers are also by building the ISKCON temples. We are giving a facility for everyone to come there. So why are we building so magnificent, big buildings? Why, isn't sometimes, some thoughts may come, why a small, thatched roof is enough? Why are we, spending so much of money and wealth to build, such a big building, especially TOBP is coming up, right? So this is the principle. We are giving a chance for people. So even if people are not interested in to come and see Krishna, but if there is a magnificent temple, people are naturally attracted to see that magnificent monument and temples and things like that. But when they come there, they get a chance to hear about Krishna, to glorify about Krishna, to get associated with the devotees and so on. So that is the idea, right? So we are not for building, that's not the purpose. Our purpose is, the principle is to give a chance for everyone to become Krishna conscious, so that thereby they can awaken their original consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness. Okay. So that's wonderful expert from that. And who would like to go next to chanting the universal religion?
Chanting the universal religion. In this present age, quarrels take place even over territories, and therefore the Shastra scripture have recommended for this age a common platform for realization, namely chanting the holy names of the Lord. People can hold meeting to glorify the Lord in their respective languages and with melodious songs. And if such performances are executed in an offensive manner, it is certain that the participant will gradually attain spiritual perfection without having to undergo more rigorous method. All the peoples of the world will accept the holy name of the Lord as the common platform for the universal religion of mankind.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhupada. So here Prabhupada is putting the, placing the Hare Krishna mantra chanting as the universal religion, right? It is not like only the, so-called, people of Hindus, or, we need to, chant the names. No, it is not like that. So then one more excerpt, here down, Prabhupada will talk about applicability for other religions as well. So here, Prabhupada also talks the same principle. So chanting the holy names of the Lord is a universal religion, right? Irrespective of whatever religion that one may, follow. But chanting the holy names of the Lord is the religion. It is not that, you have to perform this, process or that process and things like that. Just by chanting the holy names of the Lord and following, this in an offenseless manner. So what is that offenseless manner? We have already seen in the beginning part, following under the footsteps of the previous acharyas, right? Following under the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the lineage, the Guru Parampara. If we perform that action uh, under that, guidance, then it is offenseless. We are not supposed to invent our own process of, religion. Sometimes Prabhupada also talks about, people chant in a different way. Hare Krishna mantra is, they combine, portion of, Hare Krishna mantra here and portion from another song, and then make a separate mantra, right? So we are not here to invent a new mantra or new process or something, so then it becomes, unauthorized, and sometimes we may also perform some offenses. So we must be conducted by the prescriptions or the regulations that are process that is given by the parampara system, the tradition. So that if we do that, instead of doing this yajna, that yajna, and things like that, if we perform this universal religion, then everyone will get benefited. And once when Srila Prabhupada was there, in I think in Hyderabad or somewhere, for a couple of years, there wasn't much rainfall and there was a drought. And Prabhupada, having faith on the holy names of the Lord, he mentioned that if everyone comes together and chant the holy names of the Lord, then definitely there will be rainfall. And it did happen. Prabhupada, ISKCON organized the group chanting of the massive chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it did happen that end of it, the rain started pouring. that is the, it works. So it is not that it is artificial or it is something, different. So it does work. It is universal religion for everyone. Okay. So the next one, seeing God through sound. Anyone would like to volunteer? Yeah, somebody can read this passage. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. I'm reading it.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Seeing God through sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is a sound, Shabda, that is non-different from Krishna. The sound Krishna and the original Krishna are the same. There are things which we hear but do not see. The wind may be whistling past our ears and we can hear it, but there is no possibility of seeing the wind. Since hearing is no less an important experience or valid one than seeing, we can hear Krishna and realize his presence through sound. Sri Krishna himself says, I am not there in my abode or in the heart of the meditating yogi, but where my pure devotees are singing, we can feel the presence of Krishna as we actually make progress. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So this is another aspect of the science of the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So here Prabhupada talks about the aspect of perceiving the Supreme Lord. So how can we perceive the Supreme Lord? So it is not only, the common saying, say, seeing is believing, right? But when it comes to transcendental subject matters, it is not only about seeing, it is about perceiving in different ways. We perceive Krishna, yes, by seeing his beautiful form in the Archa Vigraha, form in the temple. That is also seeing. But when we hear the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That also we are perceiving the Supreme Lord through the sound vibration. And here Prabhupada states very nicely, that since hearing is no less important experience, or perception or experience, hearing is, you cannot say that hearing is, less important than seeing. Seeing is the best one. No, it is not like that. Or he also mentions that, or valid one more than, seeing also. So it is not like that. It is all, he places everything on an equal platform. Right. So seeing through the eyes and hearing through the ears, or even tasting through prasadam, or even chanting through the tongue, right? Or smelling the flowers that are offered, or a tulasi leaf that is offered to the Supreme Lord. Each and every aspect of the perception of the Supreme Lord it's all in a transcendental identical platform. So by the simplest process that we can always perceive Krishna is by chanting the holiness of the Lord and hearing that. Okay, so and Prabhupada also quotes about this one, right? Where Narada once asks the Supreme Lord, "Oh my Lord, where can I see you for certain? Can you please tell me?" If I'm not able to see you here, what to do and things like that. So the Lord explains him, saying that I am, if you think that I am here in my abode of the Vaikuntha, I may not be. Or if you think that a lot of sages in the forest, they are meditating on me, and therefore I will be sitting in their hearts, that also may not be. But for certain, you should know that wherever the devotees come together and chant the holy names of the Lord, glories of the Supreme Lord, there I will be definitely present, right? So he assures that. Um, so therefore, this opportunity of reading Srila Prabhupada's books together. I'm very thankful to everyone, so that definitely there is a potency here. So Krishna is manifesting through the words of Srila Prabhupada through these books. So not only seeing, hearing is also equally important, and thereby we can see. Seeing means perceiving. We can feel the presence of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada writes. We can feel the presence of Krishna as we make progress. Yes, it is not that Krishna is not present. Even if we are not progressing, even the beginning stages itself, Krishna is there, because Krishna and Krishna name are non-different. So Krishna is there, even if a person who is faithless, also when he chants Krishna, Krishna is there present, but he is not able to feel or experience the presence of Krishna. But if he progresses further, then the Bhakti Shakti, he can start perceiving Krishna. Sometimes it is also said that we may be seeing, let's say sometimes somebody may ask, can you go and see there? What's there? Can you pick up, in the kitchen, right? We're doing seva. Can you pick up that, salt box? When we go there, search everywhere. I'm not able to see the salt box. So we come back and say that box is not there. But the other person who sent you, he says, hey, right here, you are not able to see. So sometimes we see it, but we don't recognize it, right? So similarly, the Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is present, but we are not able to recognize. But if we make progress on the science of Krishna consciousness, then we maybe start able to see it. That's why Brahma glorifies Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bachami. So those devotees, santas, who have decorated their eyes with the salve of love of Godhead, they are able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead each and every minute, right? Living example, we have seen how Srila Prabhupada also, was experiencing the Supreme Lord everywhere, and many times he has also demonstrated that process also. Okay, so that's wonderful passage. Yeah, next one, the holy name acts like fire. Somebody would like to volunteer? Yes, please, Sulochan.
The holy name acts like fire. Fire will act regardless of whether handled by an innocent child or by someone well aware of its power. For example, if a field of straw or dry grass is set afire, either by an elderly man who knows the power of fire or by a child who does not, the grass will be burned to ashes. Similarly, one may or may not know the power of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, but if one chants the holy name, he will become free from all sinful reactions.
Thank you, Prabhu. A very short one, very powerful one, like fire also, right? So the Hare Krishna mantra is just like fire. Prabhupada says, whether somebody like an innocent child is, touching fire, it burns. So even if whatever, sinful person, whoever he may be, but if he chants the holy name of the Lord, definitely the influence of the holy name is going to act. So that is a fact. Um, but the holy name acts in different levels, right? So the first one is it even nama bhas. It is said that even if someone chants not Shuddhanam, means it's one, he may not be purified, is only sinful. But if he chants the holy name of the Lord, he is relieved of his sinful reactions. But what happens is, the tendency to commit sinful actions may be still buried in his heart. That needs to be uprooted completely. So therefore our acharyas are recommending to chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. Okay, it is not only just like, if you have a wound and if you're bleeding, then you may wipe the blood away. So that is one kind of, medication. So a sinful person, chanting the holy names of the Lord, the first effect is, it wipes out the, blood, like that. But what is causing that infection? If that is not completely cured, then the blood will start keep coming again and again, right? So similarly, so how to remove the tendency to commit sinful actions? It is the same process of chant again, right? You have chanted once, you have gotten rid of the infection outside, but there is deep infection inside also. So if we continue to chant the holy names of the Lord, and we become more pure, then we can, the deep inside within our hearts, the root is very strong. It is inside. It is just like in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna talks about the inverted tree. There's a very, very big banyan tree, inverted banyan tree, where the roots are, it's like unending. The roots are up and the, branches are down. But with the weapon of knowledge and detachment, you cut down. So similarly, the holy names, is acts like that. It is an axe. With that axe, we cut the knots of the sinful tendencies that we have in the heart. Okay, but irrespective of that, even if only once somebody chants, sinful reactions are, taken away. That's a fact. But how it is happening, what happens to, the we will not be able to understand, how such sinful person is getting relieved by chanting the holy names. Well, we will not be able to understand that. That is the, power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so that's one. And next one, let's go to liberation from false ego. Next, somebody would like to volunteer?
The effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord is perceived by the chanter as liberation from the conception of false egoism. False egoism is exhibited by thinking oneself to be the enjoyer of the world and thinking everything in the world to be meant for the enjoyment of one's self only. The whole materialistic world is moving under such false egoism of I and mine. But the factual effect of chanting the holy name is to become free from such misconception.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. So this is talking about another aspect of liberation. So we talked about how the holy name, gives liberation from the sinful. But here liberation from false ego. It is working from inside, right? False ego is within us, right? So one of the strong covering for the soul or atma is the false ego. Here the word, clearly mentions about false ego. So there is ego and there is a false ego. So ego means the identity, and the false ego means, false identity. So we all have an identity or ego. What is that identity? Is that I am the parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meant to serve Him. So I am an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. So that is my identity, right? So everyone has an identity, right? So if we are working, we have an identity. If we are in any position, we have an identity. But false identity means which is not true. What is that false identity? Means everything is meant for my enjoyment. So we see everything as, how can I enjoy this? How can I, control it? Like that, that is our false identity or false ego. So by chanting the holy names of the Lord, when we chant continuously, when we endeavor to chant the holy names of the Lord, our false ego, our false identity, vanishes. It subdues. We no more think in the conception of everything is my enjoyment. You are meant for my enjoyment. You have to serve me, or I have to control this, and things like that. So we forget in the false ego, we forget that everything is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. So everything, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and He is the enjoyer, He is the owner of everything. But if we continue to chant the holy names of the Lord, then our tendency to control this material world, tendency to enjoy this material world for me only, like the selfish motives and things like that, will diminish. All right. So in the sixth Shashtaka, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first shloka, very nicely mentions about the 7 effects of chanting the holy names of the Lord. So one of the thing is, vidya vadu jivanam. So this is the life of all transcendental knowledge. So by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we will be able to truly perceive the understanding of the scriptures, of the knowledge. So we may have the knowledge, but we may fail to realize that knowledge. What is the missing link? We may be reading, many things and things like that. It stays only as a knowledge. It will not, materialize into actual realization unless we perform practical service. So the practical service, the first service that we should do is to chant the holy names of the Lord. By chanting the holy names of the Lord, all the knowledge, what we have read, will start becoming into realization by the grace of the Supreme Lord. So one of the knowledge is to understand that I'm not this body, I'm the spirit soul of, and that becomes a realized knowledge. But when we start serving the holy names of the Lord by chanting the holy names of the Lord, as it is. Okay. So next, chanting defeats death. Yeah, somebody. Yeah, Atanu Patra Prabhu, we want to read? Yeah, please.
Chanting defeats death by the grace of Lord. If a devotee at the time of death can simply chant his holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simply by chanting this Mahamantra, immediately surpasses the great ocean of the material sky and enters the spiritual sky. He never has to come back for repetition of birth and death. Simply by chanting the holy name of Lord, one can surpass the ocean of death.
Yeah, thank you. So this chanting, so the one of the effects of chanting the holy names of the Lord is second effect. The first effect is to in the sixth Ashtaka, Cheto Darpanamarjanam. So first effect is to cleanse the mind. And the second effect is Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. So Bhava means this material world taking birth after birth. So this nirva apanam, so this taking birth again and again is just like a forest fire. It burns, a forest fire burns like anything. You cannot even stop it by any amount of, pouring water. So, hundreds and thousands of firefighting, trucks can come and pour water. It will not stop. The only thing that can stop the forest fire is when the clouds come together by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, pour water, rain, then it may stop. So similarly, just like the rain clouds are merciful in pouring water, the Hare Krishna mantra is just like the rain cloud that pours water of our repeated birth and death. So that is the only way to stop. So by chanting the holy names of the Lord, Krishna says, Antakale chamame vishmaran muktva kalevaram. So when you are leaving this body, Antakala, when you remember me. So how can we remember? So we chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. Then at any time, our end may come. So we can remember the Supreme Lord. And what is death? Death means, taking one more birth, one more body, material body. But for devotees, when we are attaining perfection, then if we go back to Godhead, just like waking up from the night, and then we are waking up like that. We don't get another. We don't go into one more sleep, right? So waking up into the spiritual sky, spiritual world, regaining our original, constitutional position. So therefore, chanting is the process to even defeat death also. So deathlessness begins. Prabhupada says deathlessness begins when we start our journey of Krishna consciousness by surrendering to Krishna through the medium of the spiritual master. It is called beginning of deathlessness. It is not that deathlessness is already attained, but by taking up the process of Krishna consciousness, by surrendering ourselves to Guru and Krishna, we have started the journey of deathlessness. But when we practice it in a very nice way as prescribed, then for sure we can finish the deadline. It's not a death anymore, so we can go back home, back to Godhead. Okay. There are some more passages. I will quickly go through this for want of time. Okay. So another aspect of chanting the holy names of the Lord is to experience ecstasy. So this is one of the higher stages of chanting, progressing in chanting the holy names of the Lord. So the higher last two stages are described as bhava and prema. Bhava means the eruption of emotions, ecstatic emotions, right? So we have seen how, devotees of that elevated to that platform. So to retain that platform is this process of Krishna consciousness, surrendering to this Guru and Krishna, practicing by removing all the unwanted anarthas within the heart, and establishing ourselves in devotion service irrespective of different situations shouldn't affect us. And then we start tasting the glimpse of the ecstasy started to taste from the ruchi, the taste, and then the emotional ecstasy, and then finally the actual love of God. So imagine, that state is something which, we can't even imagine that state of ecstasy, right? So what enjoyment that we are, trying to get in this material world is just nothing, which is just like a, stool, right? Compared to the ecstasy, what we are, Atmas in the pure form will have to establish. And we have already talked about how the chanting Hare Krishna is the sound incarnation of God, right? So Krishna and Krishna's names are non-different, right? That is how the Supreme Lord is called absolute. Absolute means there is no difference. A difference in what? Difference from the person, the Supreme Lord, from his form, and from his name, from his pastimes, and everything. Whatever is connected with the Supreme Lord is all identical. So even the Hare Krishna mantra is also identical to Supreme Lord. It is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So Golokera Premadana Hai Rama Sankirtana. So by Harinama Sankirtana is nothing but the one that gets the prema from Goloka. Okay, so and this is the Yuga avatar also. So therefore we can chant the holy names of the Lord, and Krishna is incarnating always in the Supreme, the name of the Supreme Lord. And another important aspect Prabhupada was talking about, the name Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even in the Christianity, we call Christ, Jesus says as Christ Father, right? So Jesus also, agrees that Christ is Father, and Prabhupada, traces back the root of the Christ. Christ, the name came from Krista, right? And the Krista is the actual Sanskrit root of Krishna. So he says that whether you chant like Christ or Krishna, you are addressing the same person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, he also recommends, why don't you, the Christians also have the habit of chanting using their rosary beads, the names of the Lord. So he encourages, why don't we all join together, whether it may be Hindus or Muslims or everyone can come together and chant the Hare Krishna mantra. But if you have an objection to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, you can chant your own authorized names of God in the rosary beads. We can all come together. What's the objection? So he's encouraging as much as possible based on their level, to chant the holy names of the Lord. And another aspect is we are all struggling with our mind, right? When we practice the spiritual path, we need to work inside, right? We already talked about that, right? The tendency to commit sinful actions is deep rooted in the mind. So therefore, the mind needs to be cleansed, and we need a powerful process to cleanse the mind because it's so deep rooted. So what can we do? So therefore, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So the first effect of the chanting of the holy names of the Lord is to control the mind. So the mind is considered to be somewhere it is considered as the senses are considered to be wild horses, and because the mind is a fulcrum of all the wild horses, so therefore the mind also can be considered to be a wild horse. So the wild horse cannot be controlled, that very easily. It need a strong person with the strong ropes. You have to control it. So similarly, the process of Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy names of the Lord, is specifically given for to control the mind. But sometimes we also say, I've been chanting Hare Krishna mantra, but I'm not able to focus and things like that. What is the solution? There is no other solution. What is that? You have to chant again. Right? Whenever the mind goes here and there, bring it back under your control. So that is the process. That is the solution. Okay, so we should not think that, okay, there is an automatic process, I don't have to do anything. No, it is, we have a work to do. We have to go behind the mind where it is going and then come back. As soon as we start doing that, then we can see that you are focusing, your mind is able to get. But if you fail to do that, it is very difficult for you to control the mind. So while chanting, it keeps going. Sometimes, it is even unnoticed, for many, rounds and things like that. You may not even notice that you have, let the mind, unfocused, right? But the solution is to bring back the mind. So depending on that abhyasa yoga yuktena. So when you perform that process of bringing back the mind and control, then only mind can focus. So if we let loose the mind, it's just like our child, right? So if you don't let your child study for examination, but one day the examination comes, how will he pass the examination? He will not, right? But as soon as you realize that your child is going out and play tomorrow's examination and not even studied one chapter, it is impossible to pass the examination. Similarly, same thing for our mind also. If we let loose the mind, the in the mechanical chanting only is happening. So how does the mind will get purified, right? So the process is there. So we need to make the process work by focusing the mind. And here, Prabhupada talks about the peace formula, the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And the end, Krishna talks about the peace formula, like how we need to understand that Krishna is the actual owner. Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So he is the actual owner. He is the actual enjoyer. He is the actual owner, and he is the best well-wishing friend for everyone, and he is the supreme lord of everyone. So if we can understand these 4 factors, Bhoktha. So he is the enjoyer. Yajna tapasa, he is the enjoyer of every aspect of this thing. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, he is the supreme lord of everything. Suhurdam Sarva Bhutanam, he is the best well-wishing friend of everyone. So if we can understand this way, then there will be peace. So even for our own circumstance, sometimes we may feel very disturbed and things like that. How am I able to go through this and things like that? But as soon as we remember this one, that Krishna is the enjoyer, you are not the enjoyer. There's a lot of peace will start coming up. Krishna is the actual owner, you are not the owner, you are not the controller. Okay, so most of the time we think that we have to control, it's going out of control. But as soon as you surrender that, yes, I'm doing only my part and Krishna is the original controller, then a lot of peace will start. And Krishna is the best well-wishing friend, right? So it is something is beyond our control, and nothing can be done, things like that. Remember that Krishna is the best well-wishing friend, right? So he is under control, right? So you accept whatever situation that that's coming up and depend on him. Then you can be always peaceful, right? So, and Prabhupada also talks about the um, um, you know the private mantra, or somebody may be charging something like for mantra, and don't get trapped into such things. A real mantra, Hare Krishna mantra like that, it is given by the Supreme Lord, and such authorized disciplic succession, nobody will charge for that. So don't get trapped into such I will give you some powerful mantra, you pay for me and things like that. So therefore don't get trapped into that. And finally, the prescription for everyone, the heart disease, as somebody may ask, why why are you always rather than in affluent area, why don't you preach in the poor, amongst poor and things like that? So Prabhupada is very open. It is not about poor or rich. Everyone, whether it is poor or rich, they are all afflicted by the disease of material entanglement. So therefore, he also mentions if a poor person or a rich person, gets bodily disease, then everyone goes to a hospital. They may go to a same hospital, right? A poor man or rich man may be lying in the emergency ward next to next, right? It does not matter. So similarly, ISKCON is the hospital where we treat alike both materially poor or materially affluent. But spiritually, we see that everyone is poor, right? We need to heart diseases. What is that heart disease? To control the material nature, right? So by taking up the process of Krishna consciousness, then even a criminal can purify the hearts, right? So that's the point that Prabhupada is talking about from the science of self-realization. So thank you. I will pause here. So there are about 15 different things that Prabhupada talked about in the science of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much for your reading. So if you have any comments or realizations, you can share. So thank you. Does this, I think, it may be more useful to read in turns, right? Please let speak your opinion as well. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not specifically asking any question. I'm just
Okay.
trying to understand actually what you have actually tried to describe throughout this
Okay.
topic, on this topic, on my understanding base. This Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is not an ordinary mantra, but rather it's It's a mantra of the highest order, which is by repeating which we all can get purified of all our misgivings, all our egos, our prides, our anger, our fear, and be able to situate ourselves into our original constitutional position, that we all have come from the Lord itself. We are parts and parcels of the Lord. And once we reach that state of divine consciousness, by surpassing all the negativity within us, purifying our mind, our senses, and everything, we can actually be enjoyed our position, that what we call as Satchit Ananda, this eternal consciousness and blissful state, and we can really enjoy. The Prabhuji is that how can we actually reach that state where we can actually feel ourselves that we are not the mind but our soul, that is also a part and parcel of the Lord, and we be established in that state of happiness where we can only perceive of and sense of the Lord itself and nothing beyond that. That's my question. And
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. That's a very nice question as well. So whatever you've mentioned, that's true. It's the true knowledge. But how to achieve that stage, right?
yes,
It is by practice. It is, what is that practice? We need to do service. So because our constitution question is Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das, right? Means we are an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. So that means we have to serve. We have to start serving the Supreme Lord in different ways and capacities. So the first way of serving the Supreme Lord is to chanting. So Nama chanting is the Nama Seva, means we are serving the holy names of the Lord. So it is all about engaging in devotion service. Only by engaging in devotion service 24/7 we can come to that state. So our primary focus is not to enjoy that Satchidananda Vigraha, but to give enjoyment to the Supreme Lord. By giving enjoyment to Supreme Lord with that focus, automatically our Satchit Ananda Vigraha experience automatically comes up. That is the way to inculcate our original nature. Right, so we have the process of Krishna consciousness. Right from, there are 9 steps of Krishna consciousness. Rupa Goswami has given, starting from faith, Shraddha, and manifests into sadhu sangha. So everyone has Shraddha or faith that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, faith on the Hare Krishna mantra and things like that. So that gets little mature, that how we are coming together to glorify the Supreme Lord and things like that. That's called sadhu sangha. So we are coming together to read, chant, and things like that. And the third important step that comes is to commit oneself to Guru and Krishna. Yes, I will, dedicate my life to this process of Krishna consciousness and attain the actual objective. So that is called bhajana kriya, or taking initiation from the spiritual master, getting the Hare Krishna mantra, and then chanting the holy names of the Lord. Then comes the fourth stage. After surrendering ourselves, we are to practice a devotion service, in the service to the Supreme Lord, service to Vaishnavas, Jivera Dhaya, service to the living entities by giving Krishna conscious literature, by serving prasadam, talking about Krishna to them, and all these services. And then all the anarthas within our heart will start disappearing from that point onwards. And then the fifth stage called Nishta, and then Ruchi, and then Asakti, and then Bhava, and then finally the Prema. Right. So there are other steps that are available after that, step by step, Rupa Goswami has given. So I'm just, summarizing that. So to answer your question in short, how to attain that highest stage of ecstasy, it is by service. So by doing seva, under the instructions of the superior authorities, we attain that stage. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Fine. So if there is any other question, otherwise we can conclude for today. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So our weekly book reading ki jai. So thank you very much, all devotees, players. So let's hope to join you again next week. Thank you. Hare Krishna.